How's it going, everyone? I want to give you guys a heads up on some of the great PlayStation Store deals under the price of $10 right now. Quite a lot of stuff discounted, so let's just get right into it. Got a lot of games to go over, and let's get started with Valkyria Chronicles 4, the Complete Edition, which is 80% off for $9.99. Valkyria Chronicles is one of those JRPG franchises that unfortunately hasn't popped off as much as I would like to. I think the games have been incredibly consistent. VC1 initially came out all the way back in fall of 2008, and I played it back then and really enjoyed it. Never actually thought we would get more love for the series. Valkyria Chronicles 2 came out on the PSP, then VC3 was a PSP title as well, never dropped stateside, and then out of nowhere, we got a Valkyria Chronicles 4, and Valkyria Chronicles 4 ended up being a really solid and well done game. Good cast of characters, even if, you know, the characters weren't blow away by any stretch of the imagination. I thought the narrative was well done, the gameplay's still really good, and you do have a couple of difficulty options. This Complete Edition includes the DLC as well. And some of the DLC is actually kind of notable. Game itself has a good bit of content, but just like VC1, it is told through the use of a storybook. There's no overworld you explore or anything like that. You don't explore the towns. It's more, you go through this storybook, there's cutscenes, and then you go into the battles. It's well done, and it keeps things flowing really well. And even with it being a streamlined experience, there's quite a bit of content. I really enjoyed it, and for $9.99 for the Complete Edition, think it's a great buy. Definitely would give that a shout. Next up, we got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, 50% off for $9.99. Now, I enjoyed Xenoverse 2. I actually did a playthrough of the main story not too long ago. Was just in that Dragon Ball mood, and I wanted to play some Dragon Ball titles, and I picked Xenoverse 2 to play through again, but you have to know with Xenoverse 2, there is quite a bit of DLC content. Like, they've got so much downloadable content. They've got, like, Gohan Beast in this game. This game came out in, like, 2016, 2017, and Gohan Beast was just DLC. If you don't know, Gohan Beast was a part of the movie that released in, I think, 2022. So, like, they're pretty up-to-date with a lot of the content. It's still getting updated to this day, which is wild. It's wild to me that many people play Dragon Ball Xenoverse to warrant this game continually getting upgraded. It does have a little bit of grind to it, so keep that in mind. You create your own character, and you kind of save the timeline of Dragon Ball. It's not blow away, but if you're a fan, you're gonna have fun with the game. For $9.99, I think it's pretty good. But again, if you do want everything, you're looking at picking up the, I forget what it's called, the Special Edition, which it's not on sale right now, but what can you do? It's $49.99. Nobody's spending $49.99 on it, but it does go on sale for, I think, $19.99. They do have the Deluxe Edition on sale, which includes the Super Pass. That's $19.99, but that won't get you everything, so keep that in mind. Next up, we got Ghost Runner, 70% off for $8.99. Look, Ghost Runner 2 was a PlayStation Plus title. I believe it's a PlayStation Plus title right now, actually, and Ghost Runner 1 is available on Plus Extra. It was a Plus title a while ago, but it's a really solid action game. Now, it's a little bit aggravating at times, and it damn near definitely made me break a controller, but it's incredibly enjoyable, and the soundtrack is awesome. The story, albeit a bit predictable, is enjoyable as well, and the gameplay is really well done. For $9, I think this is a damn good pickup. Not a game for everyone if you're not into precision action titles, and really hard to describe it and compare it to another game, but incredibly addictive, and for $9, I think it's a pretty good buy. Next up, we got the Evil Within digital bundle, 75% off for $7.49. Now, this includes Evil Within as well as the DLC. Gotta give this a shout. You know, RIP Tango Gameworks. The Evil Within was a great title and a great IP that they created, and unfortunately, we're never gonna see an Evil Within 3 because Microsoft sucks. But Evil Within 1 was a pretty solid game. Atmosphere and narrative, I think, was incredibly strong in this game. The gameplay isn't blow away. It's like a perfectly fine action shooter, but you know, it's not blow away by any stretch of the imagination. But when it comes to a horror game, I think the atmosphere and the setting and the tone matters so much more, and it gets those elements right, which is what you want. $7.49, think it's pretty good when you consider the DLC is included. Not a bad pickup there. And then also, RIP Arcane Austin Prey Digital Deluxe Edition is 75% off for $9.99. Now, yes, Arcane Austin recently definitely gets a lot of crap thrown their way, given how terrible Redfall was, but back in 2017, they put out what I consider to be the most underrated game of that year in Prey 2017. It is a tremendous tremendous single-player atmospheric first-person shooter title. Has some Metroidvania elements to it, a psychological narrative as well. Incredible from a setting standpoint. It is a remarkable game, and a lot of people wanted a sequel. Unfortunately, that sequel is never going to come, but you should still go back and play Prey 2017. It is a phenomenal game. It includes the Moon Crash add-on and Prey Typhon Hunter. All that for $9.99. Great pickup there, and a tremendous single-player first-person title. Next up, another game that, you know, crossing my fingers for a sequel, and maybe it's not as unlikely as I once thought, but Gravity Rush 2 is 50% off for $9.99, and I saw a comment recently where somebody was poking fun at how many people recommend Gravity Rush, and then the audience of those specific content creators just never check it out. I feel like I'm in that world, but, you know, I've definitely gotten some people to pick up Gravity Rush, and if I can continue beating that drum and one day get a Gravity Rush 3, hey, I'm doing my job right. Gravity Rush 2 is 50% off for $9.99. I do recommend you to play the first one, as this is a direct sequel. Gravity Rush 2 really builds upon the first one because GR2 is built ground up for the PS4, where GR1 was designed for the PS Vita. Damn good PS Vita game, but shows its limitations. GR2 is a fantastic game. Great art style, story is good, great main character, great gameplay. Good bit of content as well, and all of it for $9.99, a damn good pickup. There's rumblings of a remastered release happening on PlayStation 5 and PC. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but for $9.99, GR2 is a great buy, and definitely give it a look. Next up, we got A Way Out. It is 80% off for $5.99. A Way Out is a really solid co-op only title. The narrative is really strong. It's not a super lengthy game, so keep that in mind. You can complete it fairly quickly, but if you got a buddy to play the game with, definitely a good time, all things considered. This studio, Hazelight, also put out It Takes Two, and It Takes Two is beloved. Got nominated for like Game of the Year awards and whatnot. A Way Out didn't necessarily get received that well, but I thought A Way Out was actually the game I enjoyed more. $5.99 for it is great, and I definitely would give that a look. Next up, let's give some Assassin's Creed games a shout. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is $8.99. Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection is $9.99. And Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered is $8.99. For the three of you that don't own these games already, they're all good buys. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is rumored to be getting a remake at some point, but I imagine that remake is far out. Maybe like 2027, 2028. So, you know, I would play the original. Black Flag is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. I've completed this game just an absurd number of times. Beat it on PS4, beat it on PS4 multiple times. I was about to say beat it on PS5, but like that would mean that there's a PS5 version. I beat the PS4 version on PS5, let's put it that way, and I beat the game on PC several times as well. I've just completed the game so many times, and Edward Kenway is one of the best main characters in an Assassin's Creed game, quite possibly the best. I know Ezio gets a lot of love, and rightfully so. I wish Edward got more games because he's such a great character, but what can you do? $9 for that is great. Ezio Collection, obviously. AC2, Brotherhood, Revelations, all three of those games are great. $9.99 for that is great. And Rogue is a super underrated game. Has a great main character. The naval combat's pretty good. Story is overall pretty good. For $9, that's a real great pickup as well. Next up, we got Infamous Second Son, 50% off for $9.99. A great game. While I wouldn't say it's as good as Infamous 1 or 2, I do think it's a damn good game. And you know what? Infamous 1 and 2 are just stuck on the PS3, and I don't know if we're ever going to get remasters of those games, so Second Son is your best bet for your superpower mayhem. And for $9.99, it's a damn good game. I don't think Delsin is as compelling of a main character as Cole, but he's still a fairly good character. Story's good, and, you know, Second Son, if you just rush through the main story, it is a fairly short game, but overall, if you do all the content, you're gonna get your money's worth. $9.99, good pickup there. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to My Hero 1's Justice 2, 75% off for $9.99. Now, I mainly am giving this a recommendation because I do know your boy keeping up with anime a little bit more these days. What is that? Season 7 of My Hero Academia just started. It is so wild that this show is up to Season 7. I was super into My Hero when it initially started. I was watching Season 1 as it was airing, and watched Season 2, got halfway through Season 3, and I just kind of fell out of watching anime in general. It's not like I had anything against My Hero. It's just I haven't really kept up with anime in general since then, but been keeping up a little bit more so recently. I just watched Kaiju number 8, which had episode 5 drop recently. I watched Solo Leveling, and I completed that. Thought that was pretty good. And, you know, My Hero is definitely one that I gotta circle back to and watch. Seems like I'm getting into that anime kick a little bit more so recently. We'll see how long it lasts, but this is like the most anime I've legitimately seen in like half a decade. So, you know, maybe I'll keep up with it. Who knows? And there's a lot to catch up with My Hero, so it's a little bit of a daunting task. But let's talk about the game. It's a solid arena fighter. If you're a fan of My Hero, you're gonna have a good time with it. The presentation's great, slick visuals. The abilities look great in this game, and yeah, had a good time with it. $9.99, pretty good price. There is DLC and whatnot available, so keep that in mind as well. But that is gonna do it for me. Links to all of these deals will be in the description box below. But that is gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.